Yo, Gary, Nasai, Minasan. Today we need to talk about Kamen Rider Geats episode 12. Amazing episode, crazy choreography, crazy pacing, and I love everything that happened in the episode itself. I felt like after the first arc has been completed, they no longer felt the need to introduce new character. They can really start to nail down into the plot, really start to introduce us what is actually happening right now. And that is part of the beauty of Geats, okay? Because the first arc, the character shines so much, and now the second arc, the thing that is shining the most right now is the mysterious plot behind the scene. We are not sure what is happening, and we are learning so much thing. It is really crazy. I really love Geats in this episode because he is definitely the moral booster of the team. He is carrying this entire game himself. In a sense, he knows he couldn't protect everyone all by himself, and that is why he actually encouraged Keiwa to remember, like Keiwa. But at the same time, Keiwa is the one that show his motivation, his desire to protect the people first before he actually invite Keiwa to touch his ID call. So he actually respected Keiwa's decision first before he forced him to remember, and that is really good story writing, because it shows us that S is not just using Keiwa, but Keiwa himself, even though he loses his desire to achieve world peace and all those stuff, but after seeing Keiro suffering and trying his best, he actually still at the end of the day decide to fight, decide to protect the people. He gained back what he lost from the DGP itself, and that is something really beautiful. I really want to see more of that in Keiwa in the future. But by the end of the episode, we learn that he actually grew as a character. He no longer wishes for world peace, but he wishes for all the people, everyone that has been defeated by the Jyamato, to be resurrected. So that is a really good character development, because now he actually became more specific with his wishes. Now that he had learned so much about the DGP, he knows what is going on, and now he is able to write his wishes, and that is what he actually wrote for. So that is really good, okay? And speaking of Tycoon, his combo with Geats in this episode, the choreography, the animation, oh my god, subarashi, really amazing stuff. When we see him doing it again with Nago beat is so good, and he is not the only one that is amazing in this episode. When we see Buffa using the double chainsaw blade, oh my god, that is so cool. Nitoryu, so amazing. We are waiting for Santoryu, okay? Maybe like he's gonna bite. No, we are not gonna see a Santoryu here. But another amazing finisher that we get to see is the Fever Magnum Grand Victory. Holy shit, when he jump into the sky, started to blast around the bullet, I was like, why are you wasting away your bullet? But at the end of the day, all the bullet actually have a homing system, and it all flew to the Jyamato, and therefore destroying the Jyamato rider and also the driver itself. So we are not sure whether or not when Buffa double slash the Jyamato rider on the other side, did he actually break the driver or not. I didn't actually pay close attention to that, but I would assume that the Jyamato rider, one of them, is still alive, is still existed in that pocket dimension itself, okay? So I'm pretty sure in the future we're gonna get to see the Jyamato rider making a return once again when the guy, the so-called breeder of Jyamato, is ready to destroy the DGP. Just like what he said in this episode, he said he wants to destroy the DGP, and a lot of people is like, oh, he never says that, like, oh, he never say that he want to destroy the DGP and all that stuff. But I would say it is quite clear when he say that it is time for the Jyamato to shine, means that he wants the Jyamato to be the ruler of the world rather than a human, okay? So this is amazing stuff. Hopefully we get to learn more about him, and we get to understand more about him more and more down the line. But with that being said, we need to talk about the pocket dimension, because this is really interesting stuff, because I really did not expect this, for them to actually finally successfully beat the game itself. They actually utilize a previous player notebook to beat the game. So they are not actually, it's like, I always thought that the battlefield, the playground that they are in, is gonna get reset by the DGP after every single round. But I would say the reason why this round of the game itself is so different is because they are in a pocket dimension. They cannot actually access it immediately all the time. Like when Sumori actually accessed this pocket dimension, she was shocked as well. You know, like she did not anticipate that they are gonna drop into a pocket dimension. So maybe that is the reason why this pocket dimension, they didn't actually manage to reset everything. They didn't manage to take away the rice buckle that was being used in the past, and they didn't manage to collect all the hint and all the research from the previous player of the game itself. So by right, they are supposed to stay in this game for a long time. We are not sure how long did the previous rider actually stay in the game. How long, we do not know, but I would assume for quite long, for them to manage to collect so many data on the Jyamato. But one thing good for them itself is that back in the day, those rider that participated in this game doesn't need to fight with the Jyamato rider, because the hardest thing for them to do in this game is to deal with the Jyamato rider. And I would also assume back in the day, the Jyamato are not as strong as the Jyamato right now. So that also explains how does the previous rider, the ex-rider, is able to collect so many data, because they don't really have a tough time fighting with the Jyamato itself. Okay, so really amazing stuff. And I also love one thing that S is trying to do in this episode. Is like through their conversation, we can clearly see that S is trying to make everyone in the game start to suspect what does the DGP actually wants to achieve. S actually says that, hey, if this is a game to protect the world, then what is the harm for allowing Keiwa to join the DGP itself? You know, like he actually put it in a way, it's like, hey, you might have something to hide, you might have something that you don't want to know, like what is your secret motive? S is trying to drill that suspicion into everyone's mind, and also to kind of like make the game master a little bit nervous, so that maybe he will accidentally leak something. He will get too nervous that he would act too harshly or act too recklessly, causing him to unveil something that it was never meant to be unveiled before, something like that. Okay, so very fun stuff. But we also learned that S knew about that Punk Jack and entered the DGP just to sabotage with him, but he doesn't understand why this is the case. And I really love S saying that, hey, we are a player, we are not the pawn to the game master itself. And that is so amazing. I almost felt like it really makes me think that the way that S is talking about this word, like about being a player and not a pawn, it really makes me feel like the DGP and the Jyamato are at war. They are at war with one another. So when we see in the previous episode that the game master was calling the breeder, I don't think they are really working together, okay? But they are at war with one another, and they actually decided on the game itself. You know, like how when you play the game Left 4 Dead, if you never played Left 4 Dead before, let me tell you, it is a zombie survival game. There's like 4 human characters, and then on the enemy are all the zombie, and some of them got like super zombie and all those stuff. But the interesting about Left 4 Dead is that you can choose to play as the zombie itself, and when you choose to play as the zombie, you get to control different super zombie to fight against the 4 human character in the game itself. So Left 4 Dead actually introduced us the idea that both sides are player. Both sides can be player. 4 human versus 4 zombies, something like that. So if we put that into Kamen Rider Geats itself, this is a theory, by the way. So when we put this into Kamen Rider Geats, what if what is happening right now is that all the rider, in a sense, was being lied by the DGP, like the reward, yes, you get to fulfill a wish and all that stuff, but secretly at the end of the day, the DGP is using them to fight a war with the Jyamato, something like that. And the breeder is trying to breed a stronger Jyamato to fight with the rider, something like that. And maybe that is how Kamen Rider Glare is gonna make an appearance, because he might actually be one of the human, or maybe like a more intellectual Jyamato that is capable of surviving the first fight against the rider itself. Like, he didn't die, and he's gonna just come back in every single game to sabotage with them, to become the monster of the game, something like that. Okay, but that is just a little bit of theory that I have, but really crazy stuff that we actually get to see here. And I really love that the Jyamato actually have their own language. That is something that I have spoken about since episode 1, and now we finally get to see someone is actually studying the Jyamato language, and to understand the Jyamato language is the key to win the game. Wow, so good, so good. Okay, but lastly, we need to talk about the old dude. Okay, the old guy decided to give up his entry and give it to Keiwa. And he actually says that he decided to, like, I don't need to be young to enjoy life again. So, I can just live my life the fullest as who I am right now. It really makes me, I really love the ending that the old dude actually received. He didn't die. That is so good. And he actually accepted the fact that, hey, I am old age. I am fine with that. I'm just gonna live my life to the fullest. Good message. But he became really sus because he survived. Like when he survived, I was like, God damn, is it gonna be like a Squid Game scenario where the old dude is secretly the mastermind behind all of this? Because one thing we need to understand is that Gilori is the game master, but he might not be the owner of the DGP itself, So this old dude that we saw here has the possibility, the potential to become the owner, to become the founder of the DGP. Could be, okay? Could be. It's just a speculation. Once again, I just want to emphasize on that. But I really love this episode. Despite a lot of things that is happening, I felt like this episode managed to give us a lot of amazing detail, and we ended the episode with a really amazing conversation between Buffa and Pangjack. Buffa was asking Pangjack, like, hey, so why do you guys want to get rid of S? Like, what is the purpose? And the way Pangjack replied is like, are you gonna help us? If you know, then Buffa said, it depends. It means that there is a possibility that Buffa is gonna help the management of the DGP to get rid of S, okay? But I don't know, man. Like, I really don't want to see Buffa doing that. I want to see Buffa win again S in a fair and square fight, and like he legit earned his winner position in the DGP as himself. Like, he didn't compromise his value. That is gonna be so good, okay? But that is all from me in this episode. Next episode is gonna be lit because we're gonna look at the twin Command Rice Buckle making an appearance. It is gonna be so good, so subarashi. But yeah, that is all. Hope you enjoy. If you like what you see here, you know what to do. Henshin that red button into a silver one, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Goodbye.